Wednesday, April 5th, 2017, and we have some amazing visitors with us this morning to join us to say our morning announcements. If everyone would please stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now our Harding Pledge.
We are Harding Huskies. We are responsible, we are respectful, we are problem solvers.
And our Harding goals.
I will come to school on time every day. I will show growth today. I will be kind to others.
Today's weather looks sunny. The high temperature will be 42 degrees. The low temperature will be 35 degrees. Good morning. My name is Eric Dowdy. Today for lunch is beef nachos. Side dishes are garden salad, tortilla chips and cheese, ham and Valley Ranch, refried beans, dessert pineapples.
We have a very special visitor with us today. We have our mayor. He has come back to join us for our morning announcements, and our amazing student council is here also.
Liz, do you like my haircut?
I do. Mine's
Yeah.
not quite as short as yours, but I was going for close to that.
I got shaved for cancer last week to raise money for
St. Baldrick's?
Yeah,
That's
Very
awesome.
good.
yeah, I raised
I know that's something
$2,500.
you do just about every year, so
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
So if you guys are wondering why I got a new haircut, I raised money for a bunch of kids that get sick with cancer every year. So
That's fantastic.
thank you. Hi, buddy.
The first question
This kid has the coolest hair. I love it. I like it a lot. So.
the first question is how long can you be mayor?
You can be mayor as long as the people keep electing you. There's no term limits for mayors. It's a really good question. I get asked that a lot. As long as your mom and dad and your teachers and the people that live in the city of Hammond keep voting me mayor, as long as I want to keep running, I can keep going. Good question, bud.
The next question is how long have you been mayor?
I've been mayor. I've in my 14th year, so longer than you, longer than everybody in this school has been alive. I've been mayor, so unless you got held back a couple times. So I'm assuming there's nobody in this school that qualifies for that. But yeah, I've been mayor for I'm in my 14th year.
Okay, Nico, come out.
Switch.
I'm the longest serving mayor in Hammond's history at this point. So
Longer than your dad?
yeah, longer than my dad.
Wow, he was a good mayor too.
Thank you.
The next question is what is your favorite part of being a mayor?
Going to schools and talking to students. That's not just because I'm here. I love doing this stuff. I do it all the time. I bet you I go to just about every school every year in the entire city, elementary, middle, and high school. So, and college too. I go to Purdue Cal and I go to Calvin College all the time. So,
Okay, thank you, Lillian. Okay, Austin?
What's the hardest part of your job?
what's your name, dude?
Austin?
Austin. That's the hardest part of my job, Austin. Sometimes when things go bad, people get mad at the mayor. And then they get mad at me. You know, let's say something happens in my police department. My police department makes people mad. You know, I mean, obviously people are mad at the police officer that did it, or whoever does it. Maybe one of my employees gets in a wreck or something. And then after the fact, they get mad at the mayor. Even though I had nothing to do with it. But I'm the boss of the employee or whoever got in trouble. So that's definitely the hardest part. And Hammond has 81,000 people that live here. And those are your parents. You're my boss, you know that? So like I have a lot of bosses, right? So if something goes wrong, sometimes all your bosses start calling you all at one time, and I get 80,000 people trying to get a hold of me, tell me that they're mad about something. That's hard. Good question, buddy. Harding Lego Robotics. Very cool.
The next question is do you love coming to our school?
I love coming to Harding Elementary School. You know why? Because I think this is a really cool program, how they have all the school watches the news every morning. I think it's really cool because the whole school sees you guys, the student council, it hears the news, we're having pig feet for lunch and stuff like that. You guys have pig feet for lunch? What's
Fake
going on
news,
here?
that was just fake news.
Cow tongue? Oh, that was fake news. But I think it's really cool things. So, thank you for the question.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is pizza. Of course, I could eat pizza right now if you had pizza. In fact, if there was pizza in front of me, I would have a piece. But my favorite type of food is Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I go to Mexican restaurants and I eat until I can't even walk. So but that's a good question.
Okay.
My favorite color would have to be Cubby Blue, because I'm a Cub fan, and everybody loves the Cubs, right?
No.
Right? The whole school, this whole school loves the Cubs, I heard. That's why I'm here. No?
Yes.
You're a Cub fan? My man. That's why we're friends. Good job. I can see why you elected these people to the student council. They're really smart and nice. Hi. What's your name? Soraya. You're a student council? Yeah? You know, running for student council is brave. To get out in front of your students, it's hard to do, isn't it? Can you imagine getting out in front of a whole city of 80,000 people and running? It's hard. Well, maybe one day. I was a student council member when I was in school.
I'm gonna have to go record him so no. But lunch.
My favorite thing about Hammond is the diversity of the people that live here. I mean, look around. None of us look like each other, do we? We're all different. That's a good thing. There's a lot of communities you go to where everybody looks the same. And in Hammond, we all look different. And we all come from different backgrounds. And we all have different experiences. People speak one language. Some people speak multiple languages. Some people have trouble just speaking one. Okay? But it's cool that we all live in the same area and we all get along very well. And when you grow up to be an adult, Soraya, you're going to be used to dealing with people of all different backgrounds. And that's a good thing for you and your kids. You're going to have kids one day.
All right.
What are your future goals for Hammond?
My future goals for Hammond, we're always just rebuilding. You know, like for instance, right across the street from our school, we got a brand new firehouse going in, right? You know, Hammond's 130 years old, so we constantly have to just rebuild. We have to take the old stuff and make it new stuff, and that's expensive. But that's my job, is to keep rebuilding. Good job. Thanks, sweetie. Hi. What's your name?
Celine.
I'm asking you guys questions. It's weird.
The first question is, why are you the mayor?
Why am I the mayor? Well, because your parents elected me mayor. I ran, and then the only way you get this job is to put yourself in front, just like you did, Selena, right? You put yourself in front of, Selena, I'm sorry, in front of the whole school, and they voted for you to be on the student council, right? Well, I decided to put myself in front of the city and say, I'm thinking about running for mayor, and people had to decide, did they want me to be the mayor? But the reason I ran for mayor is because I want to help Hammond. And I think that I have good skills so that I could help Hammond.
The second question is, what do you do when you become a mayor?
What do you do when you become mayor? Well, you get your office in City Hall, and then you meet all the employees that work for you. You know, the city of Hammond has about 1,000 employees that work for them in the water department, the sanitary district, up at the ports, and all the pools and the parks, the people that clean our, streets, the people that pick up our recyclables, people that bring business to the city, police officers, firemen. So we have a lot of people that work for me, and that's just to get to know the people that work for me is a hard job. 1,000 people you have to get to know. How many students are in Harding Elementary School?
662, I think, was our last count.
So think about it. Like, you would have to get to know everybody in the school plus an additional 300 people. That's a hard job in itself. So I don't know everybody's name that works for me, but I know their bosses, and we all work really well together. But that's a really good question.
The next question is, do you like being mayor?
Yeah.
What's the best part of the job?
My best part of being mayor is being able to help the city I love, Hammond, and being able to rebuild it. And do I like being mayor? I love being mayor. People are super nice to me, and I get to go around and meet a lot of people. And I have great people that work for me, and we're all hardworking and trying to make our city great. Thank you, hon. Good questions. What's up, dude?
Hello.
What's your name? Cameron.
Do you like math, reading, science, or social studies?
My favorite out of those, social studies, because I'm a government guy. I understand government really well, and I love history. Like, I love American history. I read a lot. I read about people, usually. Like, if I had to, sometimes I'll read a story like fiction, but usually I'd read a book about somebody that's true.
Cool.
Thank you. I think reading is the most important skill you're learning. And reading about people, it's like a playbook. If somebody already lived their life and did really well, why not read what they learned and what they did, right?
What is your favorite thing to do as a mayor?
Well, I already said coming to schools. That's one of my favorite things. Going around, just talking to the people that live here. And, It's funny, when I ran for mayor, I would knock on people's doors, and it's really hard, because Hammond's a big city. But when I would actually knock on doors, I would be really happy, because people are usually really nice to me, and they're happy to meet me, and they're happy with what's going on, so just working for the people of Hammond's great.
There are only 41 days of school left. Are there any programs this summer for Hammond kids?
We always have programs for Hammond kids. In all the parks, there's a summer recreation program. Besides the leagues, usually you'll see kids either in soccer or in baseball or softball during the summer. But all the pools are open. Hessville Pool is one of the best pools we have in the city. It's right down the street from us. Well, not right down the street, but it's fairly close. And then all the parks have recreation programs run by the city. Good question. Man, these are tough questions.
We're grilling you.
What is your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant, El Taco Real in Hammond. You been there?
No, I haven't.
You have to go there. You crazy? It's one of. What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant, Old Country Buffet, because like you can pick out your food. Whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You can walk out of there like eat a whole bunch, right? So I'm asking you guys questions. What's your favorite restaurant in Hammond? What's your name again?
Jose Miguel.
Jose Miguel. What's your favorite restaurant in Hammond?
I don't remember what the name was, but I do know the.
Where is it?
It's like somewhere by my house. and
Uh-huh.
It's like a Mexican place.
Oh.
I like the tacos we eat.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it on Grand, right over here by Morton High School?
I'm not sure.
Nice to meet you, Jose Miguel. Thanks, buddy. I'm asking them questions. This
Mariana.
is great.
Ariani.
Hi, Mariana.
Hi,
How you doing?
good. The first question is, have you ever gotten stressed?
Stressed? A lot. I was in the Navy on submarines, and I was underwater, and couldn't talk to my family, and we'd be underwater for like 2 or 3 months sometimes. I wouldn't be able to talk and get emails, nothing. Couldn't go on the internet because there was no such thing as internet then. So yeah, I was really stressed when I was in the Navy, and then I went to law school at Notre Dame. I was really stressed then. I got married really young, and I had 2 kids, and didn't have a lot of money. Yeah, I get stressed. I mean, I don't get stressed very often now. I've been through a lot, but yeah, stress is important. It's not fun, but it's important to be able to deal with it.
The second question is, do you ever take a break?
Yeah, I take a break a lot. I work out a lot. In fact, I'm gonna get done here and I'm gonna go work out. And that's how I deal with stress too. Is I have a bike in my house, a stationary bike, and I go on it for an hour. I usually go about 20 miles. I do it probably every other day. So I play music really loud in my house, like really loud. And then I go on the bike and I just like try to forget all my stress and all my worries. I'm gonna do it right after this show. Thank you, sweetie.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Leila.
Hi. How you doing? You guys look so nice. This is a great school. Did you see my new firehouse across the street? Yeah, you like it? It's big, isn't it? What are you guys gonna do with that property out there? You figured that out yet?
What inspired you to be our mayor?
Great question. What inspired me to be our mayor? That's a really good question. My dad was the mayor of Hammond, you know that? So I grew up watching my dad be the mayor of Hammond. And I was like, wow, if my dad could be the mayor of Hammond, I could be the mayor of Hammond, because I knew that guy. I'm like, he's just a regular guy, and he's the mayor. So I always say, if you grew up and, let's say, your mom was a professional basketball player or a track star or something, I bet you would probably grow up to be really good at basketball or track, right? So my dad grew up, and he was the mayor of Hammond. And when I grew up, I was the mayor. You know, when I got older, I became the mayor. Pretty cool, huh? Nice to meet you, sweetie.
Our last and final question.
You made it.
Hi. What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia.
My question is, do you have any questions for the students here?
I've been asking questions. What's your favorite restaurant in Hammond?
I don't have.
You ever been to El Taco Real? I love El Taco Real. You guys, it's not really close to here. How do you like Harding Elementary School?
It's great.
Do you like doing the news? No? Are you shy? Are you shy? Look at TV. Say, look at Sophia, everybody. She's a great student council member. See, don't be shy, Sophia. Nice to meet you, sweetie. Thanks. Thank you, Harding Elementary School. It was super fun.
Official Harding time
Hi, Mr.
is
Liskey.
9:25. We'd like to thank our mayor for coming again. Third grade teachers, at this time, we're going to ask you to please collect your students, get their attention, and go sit and wait in the pod for us, and we'll be down there in the next 5 minutes.
Let's have a happy Husky Day.